Hello, guys. Yeah, I think it's a great opportunity. The League's Cup is obviously right there next to us. It's a great tournament. It's the first time the event will take place. I think it's the first time there's ever been a two-league tournament, so we're quite excited by that opportunity. We're the only team that plays two Mexican teams, which I think is a great experience. A great experience for our players, our staff, our city. The ability of both these leagues to make each other better and build a rivalry, has existed for many years. And I think we've been bridging that gap as a league with talent, the ability to develop talent, the ability to bring talent in. But it'll be a great experience to play Mazatlan and FC Juarez. And we're excited by it. I think, obviously it's a tournament that can promote us into Champions League again, and that's an opportunity for us as players and a staff and an organization to get right back into an event that we'd like another shot at. But, I think it comes with great rewards, obviously, for the players and the fans. But, most of all, it's getting a tournament feel again, and, we look forward to the opportunity.
Yeah, so just kind of curious about the test against, in particular, Liga MX competition, and obviously, if you get out of the group stages, there's the chance to have the kind of matchups that were previously only possible with CCL.
Yeah, I think that's exactly right. The goal is to win, obviously win the two games and get out of the group phase. And at that point, you're not totally sure who you could play, but obviously there's the ability to, if Inter Miami's in it and they can get through their group, there's the potential that we could face them. But the first thing is to win. Obviously, we get to play at home, which is a great benefit to us with our fans and certainly being in our city. But good competitors, good competition, and the teams we expect to be very, very formidable, and we look forward to it. It'll be challenging nonetheless.
And unlike July 1st, if that happens, then you would have to game against Messi. So any additional insights from last time about what you would do?
That's the goal. That's the goal. If we can, if we can do what we need to do and they do what they need to do, it would be fantastic. Obviously, he's been a great addition to the league. There's tons of excitement, rightfully so. Elevates the platform of the league, and each city that has the opportunity to welcome him, we would certainly look forward to that. Hopefully, that's something that we can make happen.
Josh, how obviously MLS has grown a bunch since you came into the league. How is this another step in that continued growth of the league and exposure and all that fun stuff?
I think it's a massive step. I think it's a really, really unique, event, tournament, and it only, it's the first time it's happened, so we're going to see how it unfolds. But our league has only gotten better because of Liga MX and the quality that it's possessed. And like I said, we're bridging that gap with Liga MX at this point. And I think it's a reason we've developed talent at a better level in the most recent years. It's also a reason we've brought in more talent so that we can compete against the very best of Liga MX. You've seen it in our Champions League. Obviously saw LAFC succumb to Leon, but again, different teams and a different format. But for us, it's a great opportunity to showcase our league against their league and make a great summer of it.
And for Jon, from a player perspective, to kind of have your season going along, press the pause button and kind of regroup, are there mental hurdles for that, and what are some of the challenges and maybe benefits of something like that?
Yeah, I mean, you saw it with the Winter World Cup this year, but I thought it was one of the most exciting tournaments that I've watched in terms of the World Cup. So I don't think there'll be any issues. I know that the players are excited for this, and I'm just grateful that I'm in the league now when it's actually happening. Fans will always debate which is the better league, and now we get a chance to actually see both MLS teams and Liga MX teams go against each other.
I guess just following up on Zach's question, just from the coaching perspective, when you have the season paused for a different competition, I'm not sure if there's anything that would be comparable to any other league around the world, but how does that affect things from the coaching perspective?
Yeah, in essence, it doesn't really. There is the pause, but this is a competition. It's a competition we take very seriously. It's, as we've mentioned, it's an opportunity to play against a very good competition. It's an opportunity to play for a trophy, and with that opportunity comes the ability to qualify again for Champions Cup, and that's there are great rewards financially. There's opportunity, so. It's a pause to some degree, but it's a continuation of a long season, and we value and look forward to each opportunity that we're able to play. We mentioned the beginning of the year, it being a long year, 4 different competitions that we're playing in. So again, this has the potential of being 7 games. You're guaranteed to, and for us, the responsibility is to win our group and move through and make the most of our opportunity.
Just for Jon, after the kind of crazy May you guys had, how much did you need a breather and kind of take a second to reset and regroup right now?
Yeah, I think mentally more than anything. Obviously, you're physically tired, but you always will be at any point in the season. But mentally, it's it can be draining, and I've not had a congested schedule like that ever in my career with that many games in such a short space of time. But as you saw in the middle of May, you have the ability to pick up points with back-to-back wins, and fortunately, we were able to do that with Seattle and then back home at Toronto. So there's pros and cons to the situation.
This is for Josh. Josh, Mazatlan and Ciudad Juarez, I don't remember a day when they went to playoffs in their history in Mexico. Is that an advantage to have, I want to say, like weak Mexican teams here?
Ooh, I don't think those two words go well together. Weak Mexican team. I have nothing but respect for the Mexican League. The talent pool, their ability to, again, develop talent as well, their ability to pull talent from all of South America and North America as well. There are no weak teams. I think teams have moments, they have blips, they can struggle, but they can regain form. I think you look all throughout Liga MX, and teams can go up and down. There are a handful that stay near the top, as you see in MLS, but those aren't weak teams. They're good teams. They'll provide challenges. We're unfamiliar with them, just like they're unfamiliar with us, so we'll have to do a good deep dive into who they are, what they're about, but there's no way we look at those teams as being weak, and I know you didn't mean that.
No. Well, the yearly salary of Mazatlan is like $4 million. So, do you have any reference? What do you know about Mazatlan?
Not a lot at this point. Obviously, we knew that these are our opponents. We will certainly look into them. We'll get a Rolodex of games and understand who they are as individuals, and certainly their tendencies and trends as a team. But we'll do a deeper dive as we finish through this bit of the season. But great opportunity. Again, I look I've been fortunate to play against Mexican team, the Mexican national team. We play Mexican teams throughout our years as a player, but a tournament like this is quite unique. It'll be quite special to see it for what it is in its very first time. And I think it'll be good to hear feedback from players as it's happening. It's a tournament inside the confines of the regular season schedule, and while you mentioned pause. It's not, to me, that's not a pause at all. It's almost like a refocus, and you have a bit of a sprint. It's condensing an Open Cup into basically 3-4 weeks, and you could have a chance again to win a trophy and move into the Champions Cup. And I think that's enticing for all teams.
And besides the sport, besides football, what is the benefit for Austin FC to play this tournament with Mexican League?
Well, I think exposure to Austin, the exposure, what Austin is, who we are as a club. It's a form of recruitment, I think, for any team that does come here. I think we look into Liga MX for players. There's no doubt about it. We look all over the world for players, but having the close proximity that we are here, I think the recruitment piece is quite interesting. They can come see the stadium, the facilities, but it's also a good measuring step, a barometer to where we are as a club, as a league. Again, I don't think you've seen a tournament where it's a 2-league tournament like this. So we'll get to, obviously be able to see some other games and some other opposition, but it's quite unique. I think there's going to be benefits that we will learn as the tournament unfolds and we look back on.
Thank you. And John, have you seen any games on the Liga MX?
Yeah, I mean, we have their highlights on the TV in the locker room almost every day, and they're extremely talented teams. As you saw with the LAFC game a couple weeks back, these are really tough opponents, and it's going to be exciting. It's going to be exciting for the fans. I think the players are really going to enjoy it, and it's the chance to compete for a Continental Cup. So,
any player reference or any reference about Ciudad Juarez and Mazatlan you have?
Pardon?
Any reference you have about both teams, Ciudad Juarez, or any guy, any player that or anything about those? I bet you if we ask Messi, he doesn't even know where Mazatlan is on the map. So, and many Mexicans probably not either. So, what do you have as a reference of Ciudad Juarez and Mazatlan?
Yeah, I mean, our full focus has been on the MLS opponents that we've been facing, but we will obviously shift focus to that when it gets a bit closer, and I'm looking forward to it.
John, over here. With this MLS season stopping when this is going on, is it kind of like a breath of fresh air to be able to look forward to something else in that time being to try to get that trophy?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's very unique in how it's going to be in the middle of the season, but it's going to be refreshing, and it's going to be exciting for the players to compete for a cup and be part of the first tournament. So.
And Coach, you kind of mentioned it earlier about not having that type of background knowledge on all these teams. What is the difficulties of trying to create game plans for that?
Well, we'll get 3 or 4 of their games. We'll look to see what they look like against various opponents. There's very good teams in Liga MX, so it won't be hard to pull some of the games. That's one thing that we as coaches, as staff, will have at least 4 or 5 games that we can look at for reference points to how they attack, how they defend, what they look like on set pieces, get more familiar with the player personnel, which we will be able to deliver to the players throughout the lead up to those games. So that side of it won't be challenging. The initial thought of who they are and what they're about, I guess that's the level of uncertainty. We don't follow those teams in a very specific manner, but we're certainly watching Chivas and Club America the other day. We watch LFC against Leon, so we see these players. We see what the league is like. The opposition will be challenging. They have talent, regardless of what their spend is on their roster. They will bring quality and their own expectations to perform and win games. So we have to be ready, and obviously we look forward to it.
And I'm just curious to know, when you first got the news of this, first impressions, what first went through your mind?
With it being Leagues Cup or with the opponents?
The Leagues Cup.
Yeah, I think there was. It's a little bit. You're quizzical. You're not sure what it's gonna be like. You're pausing the league to create a runway in the summer, and it's a tournament inside a tournament, so to speak, with the way the season works, and obviously the Open Cup's going on. So it's a great opportunity. Again, I think we're not familiar with all of these teams, so every team in MLS will have an opportunity to play against an MLS team. Well, some two Mexican teams like us, but you're going to start to get a little bit more familiar with Liga MX, because the tournament is here. I think it puts it right in front of you, and yet you have to look at it, you have to deal with it. And again, I think these type of matches and this relationship will only help both leagues. And as I say, we're constantly looking for players in recruitment, as are most of these other teams. So this is a way for them to take a sneak peek at Austin and Austin FC as well.
All right, thanks guys. Thanks for coming out.
Thank you. Phil, the trophy's yours.